a lot of people say, hey, I'm an independent artist. It's like, well, you're independent because nobody's offered you a deal.
See a gun in your will soothe me, but I'd rather be licking it up and down. Ooh-wee. I came for the cat and the kibble. Scribble.
I'm from San Jose, California. I'm still here. I've toured all across the United States, Canada, and Mexico. Done 20 tours as of this year, US tours, Canadian, Mexican tours. And I started at 14, came up with this creative name with some friends of mine, and wanted to bring live instrumentation to hip hop that did not sound live, meaning at the time there was some rock rap groups and things like that. And I always felt that was kind of sloppy at times. It wasn't really representing hip hop. So I wanted to bring that tight kind of sample feel of hip hop with live instrumentation, kind of merging like lyricism and NWA and Cypress Hill with the likings of Danny Elfman. So when we started Kung Fu Vampire, I sought out to bring upright bass, violin, cello, viola, opera singers, and various orchestral instrumentation to the group. Started releasing albums in 2003 was my first album. We just celebrated the 20-year anniversary of it, and it was called Bloodbath Beyond. And at that point, I mean, I had been doing shows many years before that, but at that point, we started doing shows in LA, San Francisco, different car shows, raves, things like that. And from there, the album, I put a ton of money into it. I had it mastered through Bernie Grunman in Hollywood. Anybody who knows the scene knows that was kind of like the top tier mastering studio back then. And then followed up with the next album, Dead Sexy, where I had released finally my first music video. Music video caught the attention of a band, Insane Clown Posse's partners out in Detroit called Twisted. They loved it. I had done 1 or 2 tours prior to that independently, and they reached out and said, hey, we love you. We want to bring you out on tour. Then the rest was history. Prior to jumping on that tour, I ended up selling my mutual fund, maxing out a credit card to press up this Dead Sexy album at a mass amount. Merch, buy a trailer, a van, had both completely wrapped, vinyl wrapped with the imagery of myself and my logos and stuff. And we set out on that tour. It was a 47 city tour. This was 2010. And that tour was like, 2,500 people, 3,500 people every night, sold out, like, theaters sold out, big clubs. This was before every single person had a smartphone. So there was crowd surfing, stage diving, it was insanity. And after that tour, I followed up, went and independently booked my own tour immediately that summer. And since then, I've done, 1 to 3 tours per year, every year, other than the window of COVID. Kept releasing independently albums. And because of that first jump, I kind of struck while the iron was hot type of thing, and just did not stop since. And I actually was one of the people who toured the least. As soon as COVID hit, I sold my van and trailer. Knew it was going to be long. Didn't know it was going to be that long. That thing would have just been sitting with the vinyl rotting. And didn't do any tours until 2023. So we got off tour in October 2019 and didn't do anything till 2023. I did a collab project during that time, my first ever collab album with another rapper from Kentucky, my friend Buckshot. Then the beginning of this year, we bounced back from COVID in a major way by jumping on a tour with Tech Nine, where it was just Tech Nine and I. So I got thrown to the wolves in a good way. It was like, again, 2,500 people, 2,000 people, oversold every night. Then while on that tour, my album got released called Black Heart Machine, which is my latest record. And we instantly went out and did the Black Heart Machine tour. And since then, man, I kind of like have been making up for lost time from during COVID. So this year I did 52 shows so far. We went out, I did some fly out dates, played in front of 10,000 people at the gathering of the Juggalos in Columbus, Ohio, which was insane. And I've done some flyout festivals since. Just did a Pacific Northwest tour, 10 days up there. And I just flew in a few days ago from Louisville, Kentucky to do it, my last show of the year. It's been a crazy year. The album did fantastic. We could go into so many more details. There's just been, I have quite a different road than the last gentleman. He was amazing to listen to. Never been signed, never had a manager, never had a lawyer. We've, I think I want to say I've turned down about 9 or 10 label deals over the years, independent and major label deals. I've just turned them down, turned down management deals. And the only thing I've ever kind of stuck to is hiring certain people. My web designer is the same guy now for exactly 20 years. He's been with me since 03. And so I still have him. He's been a backbone. Action Paxton, my drummer, engineer, and now produces a majority of my tracks. He's been a backbone since 2010. So he's been with me almost the entire tour history. And then I have 2 booking agents, one in Canada, True Rhythm, and one in the United States, which is Satellite Touring, which they actually do a lot of metal, punk, and different things, not as much hip hop, which is what I do. And so, yeah, my story's crazy. I own the rights to every single thing I do. I'm not sharing it with anybody other than the latest record, some of the producers, but 100% responsible for my own success. A lot of streams of income from this. My merch does crazy. And yeah, man, it's been a wild road to think that now here we are in 2023 and it's as big and badass as it's ever been. So currently we're just doing Christmas holiday related, prepping, but I've got a bunch of tours already lined up, huge dates. Next year we're going to probably pass the 100 show mark for 2024, all independently booked through just me and my agent put it together, Satellite Touring, doing the Calgary Stampede next summer, summer 2024. And it's been a wild ride, man. Lots of ups and downs. A band used to be 10 members. Now it's down to 3 and 2. And we've got more people off stage now than on stage. And it's been wild. It's a crazy time. And I don't think being an independent musician has ever been better than right now. So yeah, that's kind of my story in a nutshell. There hasn't been too many downs, a lot of ups. I've been very injured the entire time. I was a pro athlete as a kid, stopped at 19, 20. And so my spine's messed up, but it's been pretty good in recent years. But all that touring was done with a lot of pain. As far as like our touring setup, because I know a lot of people are interested in that. We've always had a slightly different setup, but the big one we usually stuck with was a van and trailer. From 2014 to 2020, we were in a diesel Ford van with a big trailer, all wrapped with vinyl, my Kung Fu Vampire stuff. And that was a great setup. Then we stopped using the trailer, had less staff, and used the back of the van for lighting, merch, drums, etc. Sold that during COVID and bought myself a Mercedes Sprinter, no trailer. We have a wall that cuts off a third of the back, and all of our gear goes in there. It's much nicer without a trailer. I've been the driver for 10 years. I'm the only tour driver of Kung Fu Vampire. And, we bring a merch guy out. Anybody who's seen our shows, we have a wall of merch, hoodies, jerseys, all kinds of stuff. Pretty crazy. So we have a merch person. We have a stage hand that helps with multiple things. I'm the driver. My drummer is basically the drummer, the lighting designer, and he also kind of directs our staff. So currently that's our setup, man. We're rolling around the country independently touring in a Mercedes Sprinter. Got low overhead, so we can get out there and hit small towns. So that's the story of Kung Fu Vampire. We've been doing this 20 plus years, and our latest release is Black Heart Machine. It's my favorite album yet. So there you go.